Imagine holding the fate of a nation in your hands, not as a queen, not as a noble, but as a mistress. Picture the most powerful men in Europe hanging on your every word, generals awaiting your approval for war, and artists desperate for your favor. This isn't just a story of forbidden romance. It's the true tale of Madame de Pompadour, a woman who ruled France from the shadows and changed the course of history with her wit, ambition, and unstoppable charm. Welcome to Chronomaze, where history's best-kept secrets come to life. Today, we journey to the opulent halls of Versailles, where a woman from humble beginnings rose to become the real power behind the throne of France. Forget what you thought you knew about royal mistresses. This is a story of political genius, intrigue, and the relentless pursuit of influence. Born Jean Antoinette Poisson in 1721, her future looked anything but royal. Her father was a merchant who fled France under a cloud of scandal, leaving her mother to raise Jean Antoinette and her brother. But destiny had other plans. When she was just 9, a fortune-teller told her mother, "Your daughter will one day reign over the heart of a king." Most would have laughed it off, but Jean Antoinette's mother took it as gospel. Determined to prepare her daughter for greatness, she poured every resource into her education. Jean Antoinette learned music, dance, painting, and literature skills that would one day open the doors of the French court. By her teens, she was dazzling Parisian salons with her intelligence and grace. At 19, she married Charles Guillaume Lenormand d'Edials, a wealthy but unremarkable man. But a quiet life was never in the cards. Jean Antoinette was made for something far grander. King Louis XV was a man in search of excitement. The court was full of beautiful women, but few could match Jean Antoinette's wit. In 1745, at a masked ball in Versailles, she appeared as the goddess Diana, and the king was instantly smitten. But unlike previous mistresses, she captivated him with conversation debating philosophy, discussing art, and offering political insights that left him both charmed and challenged. Within months, she became his official mistress and was granted the title Marquise de Pompadour. While many in the court rolled their eyes, thinking she'd be gone in a year, Pompadour had a plan. She wasn't interested in fleeting romance, she wanted real power. Pompadour knew that beauty fades, but influence can last a lifetime. She inserted herself into every corner of royal life, reading government papers, attending council meetings, and even advising on foreign policy. She built a network of loyal supporters, placing allies in key positions throughout the government. Access to the king became a precious commodity, and Pompadour was the gatekeeper. Ambassadors, generals, and ministers all knew that her favor could make or break their careers. She received her own apartments at Versailles, a personal coat of arms, and even became a lady-in-waiting to the queen herself. No royal mistress before her had ever been so public, so official, or so powerful. When her romantic relationship with the king faded after a few years, Pompadour didn't retreat. Instead, she reinvented herself as his closest confidant, advisor, and friend, outlasting every rival and cementing her place at the heart of the French monarchy. With Louis XV's trust, Pompadour became the real power behind the throne. She played a pivotal role in the diplomatic revolution of 1756, convincing the king to ally with Austria, a move that shocked Europe and reshaped the continent's alliances. She was heavily involved in planning for the 7 Years' War, picking generals and influencing strategy. Pompadour was also a master of court intrigue. She orchestrated the downfall of ministers who threatened her, positioned and used the royal censorship apparatus to silence critics. Enemies who underestimated her learned the hard way that her memory was long and her reach was deadly. But Pompadour wasn't just a political operator, she was a cultural visionary. She championed the Enlightenment, protecting writers and philosophers like Voltaire from persecution. She founded the Sèvres porcelain factory, which became the envy of Europe, and poured royal funds into architecture, theater, and the arts. The refined, elegant style we now associate with 18th century France. That's the Pompadour touch. Foreign courts sent envoys just to win her favor. The Empress of Austria wrote to her personally. Even France's enemies recognized that Madame de Pompadour was the true force to reckon with in Versailles. But power came at a steep price. The French aristocracy never let her forget her bourgeois roots, mocking her as poison French for fish. She endured endless gossip, rumors, and even hate mail. The stress of court politics took a toll on her health, and she suffered from chronic illness for years. She also struggled with personal heartbreak. Despite her close relationship with the king, she never bore him a child, and her only daughter from her earlier marriage died young. The loneliness of power was real, and Pompadour often confided in her letters about the isolation she felt at the top. Financially, her lavish projects and lifestyle strained the royal treasury, and critics blamed her for France's mounting debts. Yet through it all, she never lost the king's trust or her iron grip on power. When Pompadour died in 1764 at just 42, even her enemies grudgingly admitted her brilliance. Louis XV was devastated, reportedly watching her coffin leave Versailles in the rain, whispering, "She was my friend." The cultural golden age she fostered continued to shape France for decades, and her support of Enlightenment thinkers helped pave the way for the modern world. No mistress before or since has ever wielded such influence over a European empire. Her story is proof that intelligence, ambition, and adaptability can break through even the highest barriers of class and tradition. So, what do you think? Could anyone pull off what Madame de Pompadour did today, rising from obscurity to become the secret ruler of a nation? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you love this journey through the secret corridors of power, hit subscribe and ring.